Our next section is frequency and data tables. So a frequency table is a data table that displays how often an item appears in a category. Relative frequency is the ratio of a frequency of the category to the total frequency, and then a probability distribution shows the probability of each possible outcome shown using tables. So frequency just means the number of times that something is occurring. So I want you to make a note of that on the side of your notes by the vocab. So frequency just means the number of times something occurs. So our first example, it says that the result of a survey of students' music preferences are organized in this frequency table. What is the relative frequency of preference for rock music? So our relative frequency is going to be the frequency of the rock music preference over the total frequency. So similar to yesterday's stuff, it's just going to be what are we looking for? We're looking for rock music over our total frequency. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to just plug in our numbers. So we have our frequency for rock music. So if I look here, rock music is a 10. So it's going to be 10 over, and I got to do my total. So I'm going to have 10 plus 7 plus 8 plus 5 plus 6 plus 4. Which if we simplify that down, that gives us 10 over 40. And then we have to simplify that down. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 10. So really remember in this chapter to divide your fractions or simplify them, because if you don't, your answers will be wrong. So you have a 1 in 4th chance of liking rock music, or 25% of people like rock music. Our next example is a student conducts a probability experiment by tossing 3 coins one after the other. Using the result table below, what is the probability that exactly 2 heads will occur? So they tossed 3 coins, and this is what their results were. The first time they got heads, heads, and heads. The second time they got heads, heads, and tails, heads, tails, and tails, and so on. So what we're trying to figure out is what is the probability that exactly 2 heads will occur? So that means that if you flip the 3 coins, how often are you going to get 2 heads? So again, we're going to do the frequency of what we want. So we want the 2 heads over our total. So if we plug in our numbers here, we got to look at the chart. So here in the first one, there's 3 heads. That's not what I want. I want 2 heads. So here's where 2 heads are. I've got head, heads, tails, so I have 2 heads. Here I have head, tails, head, which is again 2 heads. And then tails, head, head, that's 2 heads. Everything else either has 3 tails or 2 tails or 3 heads. So we're looking for exactly 2 heads. So that's going to be my frequency of 2 heads. I'm going to use my numbers that are here. So I'm going to use 7 plus 6 plus 2. And then I have to do my total. So my total frequency is everything added together. So I'm going to do 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 6 plus 2 plus 9 plus 10 plus 2. Got to add everything up to get the total. And that's going to give us 15 over 50. And again, I have to simplify, so I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 5. So I get 3 over 10. So there's a 3 out of 10 chance that you will flip exactly 2 heads if you flip 3 coins at a time. Now our last problem, we're going to be making a distribution table. So what that is we're going to have a table that looks like this. So you're going to have a topic here, and then you're going to have a frequency, and then you're going to have the probability. So again, frequency just means that the amount of times it occurs. So what we have is a competition where 50 archers shoot arrows at a target. So 3 archers hit no bullseyes, 5 hit 1, 7 hit 2, 7 hit 3 bullseyes, 11 hit 4, 10 hit 5, and 7 hit 6. So we have to find the probability distribution for the numbers of bullseye the archer hit. So that's going to be our category here, number of bullseye. That's how you know what goes in this corner is what you're trying to find. So if we look here, we have to figure out how many numbers of bullseyes there are. So some people hit none, so I'm going to put 0 there. Some people hit 1, some people hit 2, some people hit 3, some people hit 4, some people hit 5, and some people hit 6. So those are my numbers so that's just the numbers of bullseyes it hit. Now I have to figure out the frequency. So how many people hit that number of bullseye? So if I look at no bullseye here, 3 people hit that. So I'm going to put 3. If I look at 1 bullseye, it says 5 people hit that. At 2 bullseyes, 7 people hit. 3 bullseye, 7 people hit. 4 bullseyes, 11 people hit. 5 bullseyes, 10 people hit. And 6 bullseyes, 7 people hit. So that's my frequency. So 3 people hit 0, 5 hit 1, so on and so forth. So all we did was pull that just for exactly from the reading that they give us. Now to get the probability, again, the probability is your frequency over your total. So my frequency is easy. I have the 3, and my total, I have to go back up into the problem. It says 50 archers. So that means that there's a total of 50. So I'm going to do a 3 over 50, 5 over 50 to get my probability for each one separately. And this is called a distribution table because you're just putting all the probabilities in a table for one event. And so this tells us individually the probability that people hit 0 bullseye, so 350, 1 bullseye, 5 out of 50, 2 bullseyes, 7 out of 50, and so on.